Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar, and welcome to Is This Ghost Video Real? This isn't exactly a series, but honestly I'm trying to watch one of these videos and from time to time I actually get recommended something that I have a bit of an interest in. Now this video you're about to see is fairly old. It's from like April 28, 2009, and even then that's not when it was filmed. You're looking at a video that was still made in like '06. So this is a fairly old endeavor we're getting into, ladies and gentlemen. You know, at this point I was still talking mad shit to children on the internet, being a child myself. So let's get down and just view this for a second. Now this video belongs to a channel that goes by the name Renee Hoyer Jacobson, which has about 13 subscribers, and it's an old video, and I'm pretty sure this is a forgotten channel at this point, but you know, credit where credit is due. The video is about 3 years old and it shows a ghost girl in a doorway caught by camera late at night. So again, being the fact this is an '09 video, they obviously recorded it 3 years in advance. And if you hit play for a second, you'll be able to see that yes, in '05 they did record this. So it is a fairly old endeavor. Now going in further, they actually have like real clips from like a television show, which we'll go into later on. One thing that you do need to know is the backstory, like all good ghost hunting adventures. The word was told that a father had drowned his daughter in the house many years ago. The story was never confirmed. When we were curious, we took the trip out to the house at night with only a mag light and a video camera. We were 4 boys who went out there. We saw nothing at the house that night, and we could only feel a presence. Only when we arrived back home, when we saw the movie afterwards, we were shocked. We knew not what we should do with our film, so we contacted a film company here in Denmark who has cut the film together and put it on the web, both on their website and here on youtube.com. This is the English version, because the Danish version was hard to find on the web. I don't think the concept of language really makes a video hard to find. I'm pretty sure if I wanted to find that Danish version, I could. You said it was uploaded to YouTube, for crying out loud. Trust me, we could find plenty of things on YouTube. Plenty of things exist on this site that are easy to find regardless of language. But you know what? Interesting backstory. And honestly, as an all good found footage horror movies, this is probably the best way to have backstory. Otherwise, I just end up hating the characters because it's really dumb. So that being said, this is a 2-minute video. We're not going to watch all of it. I got some highlights. Let's go look through everything and just try to see this ghost video for what it is. Ah, the decrepit home. Now, it's got a Blair Witch vibe to it, which is great. I'm always a huge fan of it. It's VCR in the age of DVD. Great. Now, I'm just going to say this to the audience. If you see a house with graffiti on it, I'm going to give you the common sense variable. Don't go in it! There could be a crackhead waiting to attack you. Crackheads exist everywhere. They cross all forms of boundaries. Anytime I see a house like this, it immediately takes away from the ghost angle and tells me, hey, maybe I should just cover myself. Maybe I should bring like a spiked baseball bat or something. We've crafted it numerous times in video games before. We should craft it in real life before we raid places like this. Alright, so the house is an obvious mess, and like I said earlier, it's a crackhead den is what it is. All the shit they're walking over, I don't think it's glass. It's probably like broken syringes or something. Like I said, when you go into a place like this, bring some backup is all I'm saying. Oh, did you see that? Did you see that? Oh, you didn't see that? Well, okay, ladies and gentlemen, I went into the description for this, and they said that if you look at 44-45, there's a sort of fog smoke ring on the left side, and back in the middle, it's spooky. So that's not what I wanted to show you, but I figured we might as well try to analyze it. There should be a smoke ring. Where again? Left side and back towards the middle. Let's go frame by frame on this. I mean, I would love to, now looking at this frame by frame, this 1 second of footage, unfortunately, because this is a 240p video, And the fact that we're getting into literally counting the pixel territory, I don't think a smoke ring is really too spooky. I mean, obviously a place like this will be dusty. But what is to know over here is when you go into the 59-second mark or something of the sort, like 58 to 59, they said that you're going to see a girl on doorway that passes by. Okay, so let's try to look at it real quickly, okay? All right? I want you to really focus. We're going to have to like really stay on the beat, all right? Watch. Right there, right there, right there. I'll show you right now. Okay, so between 58 and 59, you'll see like the ghost walking by. So as the left side pans a little to the right, you're going to see it all get dark, right? So when it gets dark, apparently, you see this? All right, I'm going right 1 frame, left 2 frames, right 2 frames, left 2 frames. Okay, what are you seeing? In 1 fucking frame, you're going to see that jumble of pixels. That's a girl right there. That's not a girl. That's a girl. That's not a girl. Oh, that's a girl. What the fuck, dude? What the hell? I mean, we're really kind of fucking grasping at straws there. But let's get down to even more juicy stuff. I'm not saying that this is fake or anything. I'm just saying, like, when it comes to most paranormal hunts, I want to believe it's true, but there's a lot of credibility that gets lost when you're like literally trying to look at pixel to pixel. Again, I can't help it. It's an '05 video. You know, they didn't 1080p cameras may not have been so available to the general consumers. Okay, so I'll give them credit where credit is due. But let's go further. Now it's at this point, what happens over here is they have a mobile cell phone at the time where they captured a video from. And this video was viewed back in a monitor, and they found a face in, I think, one of the windowsills. So let's go look at it real quickly. Let's watch through it and see how legitimate this face is. All right, it's just 1 frame. Now there's tracking below it, which is we'll get to in a second, but that is a face apparently. And here they actually drew on the television that they're viewing it themselves. So that red marker over here, that is apparently them pointing out a face for everyone to see. And if you go in further and further and further, it is pretty much as close to a face as you're fucking getting. And then here they're wiping it away, for crying out loud. That is a face. That is a genuine face that I'm seeing over here. So, ladies and gentlemen, this video kind of unnerved me a lot because in one way, it's shot really well, all right? Given the fact that it's an '05 video, this is literally how every found footage movie should be fucking made. They have a creepy environment. Honestly, the best way to film more horror is to make the most horrific set possible. One that scares the shit out of your actors and actresses and even the crew involved. Because that's when you know the movie's going to get really fucking weird. Especially when it comes to found footage stuff. So I gotta say, credit where credit is due. They filmed it well, they got me hooked. But that face in the end, we're going to have to chill. Now I've taken photographs in my life, you know, of like weird apparitions, things that if you looked at like 7 or 8 times over and tried to see something, you'd probably end up seeing it at some point. Now, what's weird to me is that they like put it on some TV and like film that, when even back in the day, if it's a mobile cell phone, they could easily rip the 3GP file on the internet and just put it in the video themselves. 3GP is a file format you probably haven't heard of, but if you're as old as me, you know back then in those Nokia phones, that's how we used to transmit. And they were very low resolution video files, like really low resolution video files. Like, you think 144p is bad? Back then, trust me, we were lucky to have like negative 2p in the fucking camera. So yeah, I don't doubt that the video quality is low, but you know, blowing it up in a VCR, I mean, it could be like a speck of dust, but if you zoom in high enough, you'll end up seeing a face. Now, without the markers, obviously I'm looking at a mouth, I'm looking at a nose, and I'm looking at one eyeball and hair, I guess. Is this indicative of a face necessarily showing up? Probably not, but ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the oldest ghost videos I found that does more for me than most recent ghost footage out there. I will say a lot of it has to do with the style of filming they went with. I mean, they really kind of pitched a cool idea, and the backstory was interesting. Now, again, I like watching these videos rather than actually ghost hunting myself because it saves me from getting stabbed by a weird crackhead in one of these areas. And, you know, I'm not into the whole faking, you know, ghost stuff categories. And even if, and like I said, I'm not saying anything's fake or anything, but at the same time, like, I can never manage to get real ghost footage either. Like, this kind of stuff would be a wet fucking dream for me to capture. So I want to kind of hope that this is real. But there's a little more backstory to this too. So they mentioned that some of the clips in this video were obtained for something called iWork Studio. So if you like actually look into iWorks TV, you can find out that they actually snap up Easy Film, like, you know, production companies. They themselves got bought out by an actual production company, like Warner Brothers International Television Productions in Netherlands is actually what they are. So they ended up being bought out for like 270 million. So at some point in this corporation's history, there was like some real ghost footage involved, which I find to be pretty freaking cool. So if Warner Brothers Netherlands can come out and give us the reality of this ghost footage, I would be very much appreciated. But it's one of those things where I like to ask you, the community. Look, I might be a skeptic son of a bitch most of the times, but I would always love to be proven wrong by a lot of things. And probably the most unnerving video might have been this one that I've seen in a long time. But at that same accord, though, this is also a description of the finest ghost videos that I've found on the internet. Ones where there's a lot of grasping at straws, in my opinion. You know, the whole concept of looking back and saying, hey, was that a girl in that one frame of jumbled pixels? Probably not. But it's interesting to look into. Or here's a smoke ring that we can barely tell in one frame of the video. But ladies and gentlemen, I gotta say, that was a fun time for me to dive into. So I'm gonna leave the question out to the audience over here. Was this a real ghost? Was that a real ghost girl? And honestly, one of those questions is, if you ever came across a video file like that, what the hell would you do? I'd probably shit bricks and leave the country, but I want to know what you'd be up to. That being said, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. I am out.